Welcome, wrestling fan, to Friday Evening's Undercard. Today I have an interview with Mickey Fulp from Firestar Pro Wrestling in Greensboro, North Carolina. Mickey wrestled in the tag team match that opened the show at Firestar's April 26th show, Future Fire 9. He's been wrestling over 3 years and has worked in various promotions all around the East Coast. He's a very solid wrestler who knows how to work the crowd and get a reaction very well. I'm glad to have him on the show and hope you enjoy the interview. All right, we're here with Mickey Fulp from Firestar Pro Wrestling. Wrestled in the opening contest on the big show tonight. Didn't quite have the result you wanted, but talk to us about the show a little bit.
Well, this was a ninth installment of Future Fire here at Firestar Pro Wrestling, which in a way is like our NXT, so it's a really big deal that we've had 9 of these shows now. It's been really cool to see a lot of these guys grow. Some of these guys I'm seeing on the show I watched their first match on the first Future Fire, so it's really cool to see how far along these guys have come. And I think that's why me and Michael kind of challenged Pretty Boy and Caden Pierre, the Pink Gang, tonight. We wanted to see really how far along they've come. We wanted to test them a little bit. So, but yeah, that's Future Fire, man. It's a really good show, and I suggest everybody in the Greensboro area come out to these shows, man. They're really, really solid.
Yeah, it was a good show. I have to say, it exceeded the expectations I had when I walked through the door. I got to say that. How long have you been in pro wrestling?
I have been wrestling since February of 2016, so a little over 3 years now. Excuse me, I'm getting my times mixed up.
I get time.
But I was trained by Josh Gary, who was on commentary tonight in the red shirt. I trained with him at the USIWF training facility in Kernersville, North Carolina. And again, I started in February 2016.
All right, good deal. So 3 years. What was it that made you want to get into pro wrestling?
Just being a lifelong fan. My dad is a lifelong fan, so naturally I became a lifelong fan because of him. Just watching it every week. I've never missed an episode of Raw, SmackDown, or TNA Impact when I was a kid. I was watching all 3, and it was really cool. You surf through those like My 48 and the CW channels on Saturday mornings. Sometimes you can pick up some of the independent promotions like Paragon out of Las Vegas. So it's just, I've always wanted to watch wrestling. I've always been into wrestling, and I always kind of knew that I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
All right, good deal, man. You said this was for your future stars here, basically. Tell us a little bit about the wrestling school you guys have here.
So Firestar is run and operated by LeBron Cozone. I'm not an original trainee here. I do kind of consider Cozone one of my trainers, though. After my training school closed down, Cozone kind of took me and many other people from the USIWF facility in. And Cozone, he's built up such a great brand here in the past few years. And not just him, guys like Cam Carter, James Ryan, and a lot of these newer guys who are coming in, like TGA and Sadie Lee Moss. But yeah, it's been, I've watched this Firestar, I've watched it just grow and grow and grow over the years. And now a lot of people say, it's one of the top promotions in North Carolina, which is really cool to know. Because when I came here, it was just, it's a training school show. It's not, and now, like, we got guys from all over the state, out of state, guys from Maryland, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, coming up here wanting to be a part of Firestar. And I think that's the coolest thing about it.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Like I said, I was really impressed with the show. I know you had a long night. You've been here. You wrestled tonight. You kind of beat up. But, hey, I got 3 questions I ask everybody I get on your show.
All right.
Who was your favorite wrestler as a kid? That's the first one.
My favorite wrestler as a kid was the rated R superstar Edge. I looked up to him so much.
Okay, Edge, good choice. Hall of Famer. He's won 50 or some odd belts in WWE. I can't count that high.
Yeah, he's won a lot.
Second question, who is your favorite wrestler to work with?
My favorite wrestler to work with, and that's a hard question. I would probably say right now my favorite one to work with is James Anthony, who was in the second match tonight, I believe. I've wrestled him all over North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and it's so easy to work with him, and I like kind of hitting him a little bit. It's kind of fun, so.
Yeah, good deal, man. All right, last question. Dream match. With who and where?
Oh, man. I think right now, and a lot of people may be surprised by this, but I met this guy a few weeks ago in Cleveland, Ohio, and I did a couple shows up there. But Effie, I don't care where it would be at. I met Effie for the first time. Great guy. I would love to get in the ring with Effie. So I say right now my dream match would be against Effie.
Okay, Effie from Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, he's not from Cleveland. He's actually based out of Florida, but he came up for that show. So,
Okay, good deal, man. Hey, I appreciate your time, and thanks for being here. Actually, any last words you got?
hey, if you're not coming out to Firestar Pro Wrestling shows in Greensboro, you're missing out on some really solid, good wrestling. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. And thanks to all the listeners and the fans out there. Appreciate you listening. We'll talk to you again next time.